Starting a business is easier said than done. We have millions of examples today that tell us about the struggles of running a modern-day business in an environment where the consumer is well equipped with the knowledge to make the right decision. And you can either make it big or go home. Today, however, the spotlight is on an entrepreneur who became a household name and transitioned from almost becoming a citrus farmer to a beauty products mogul. I have given enough hints, but if his name still doesn't ring any bells, we are talking about Richelieu Dennis, who made an over $850 million empire from his humble beginnings of selling soap on Harlem streets. We will learn how a civil war shaped his future, the challenges he faced, how he overcame them, and most importantly, what messages does his success teach us if we want to start our own business, and the twist of selling the brand name to Unilever. Let me take you to the start, where it all began. He was born in Liberia and raised in Sierra Leone. Raised by his mother Mary and grandmother, who used to sell her own hair care products and generations-old recipes of skincare products. When it was time for him to go to college, the pivotal moment in anyone's life, he chose a small school named Babson in Wellesley, Massachusetts, known for its focus on entrepreneurship. Against all odds and his mother telling him what if they didn't take him, he was determined to go there and eventually got accepted. At first, he wanted to complete his formal education, go back to his country, Liberia, and start a citrus farm. But by the time his mother Mary came to attend his graduation, civil war broke back at home in 1991, and they had to stay in the States until the situation got better. Their home was destroyed, and they had nothing left back there. Determined to become a farmer, his plans had to change, since a queen's apartment was not a fertile ground for trees. They took what little they had and started their own business, with the sole intention to survive and take care of themselves until things got better at home so they could go back. He and his mother turned to an art that was ingrained in their identities, making the soaps and creams his grandmother had sold back in Sierra Leone. Along with fellow Liberian Naima Tubman, Dennis's college roommate, they went to work using recipes and ingredients from Africa. The trio worked with raw ingredients like shea butter, essential oils, and African black soap to brew up incense and skin and hair products. They mixed the lotions and soaps in the bathtub of Dennis's cramped queen's apartment and packaged them in Ziploc bags to peddle on the street corners of Harlem. Dennis's concoctions filled a vacant niche in the market. While big beauty corporations like L'Oreal made products for women of color, they mostly sold items meant to chemically relax or alter hair to make it straighter. Relaxers were much more popular among Black consumers in the 90s, says Toya Mitchell, an analyst at New York-based market intelligence firm Mintel. Sundial's customers, on the other hand, were looking for products designed for their natural hair texture. As word spread of its products, Sundial went from a table at 125th Street and 5th Avenue to wholesaling its product to natural stores, local shops, fairs, and festivals. During the day, Dennis and Tubman delivered the products to those vendors, while Mary kept the books. Carefully managing the finances was crucial. No banks were willing to lend to an African immigrant, not even the few $1,000s Dennis needed to buy a new truck. They channeled the money they made back into the business, and even today, every check that comes out of the Sundial's office is signed by Mary. To her remark, he says, "You cannot make money if you don't spend it well." Their operations were expanding, and they were in desperate need of a bigger place to accommodate their growing business. After an exhaustive search for a place to increase their manufacturing, they moved the operation to a Long Island warehouse in 1992. That meant leaving their apartment at 5 a.m., 7 days a week to make and package the product. In the afternoon, they delivered it. In the early 2000s, natural beauty products started to take off, ignited partly by companies like Burt's Bees, the Vermont-based maker of cosmetics and skincare products. Dennis wanted to go mass market too, but he refused to put his products in the so-called ethnic aisle of drugstores, typically a small, poorly lit back section of the store. Rather than submit to second-class product placement, Dennis chose to wait 16 years for retailers to agree to put his products with the rest of the hair and skincare products. In 2007, Macy's became the first mass marketer to carry Sundial. Target followed later that year. It was perfect timing. In the years leading up to 2007, sales of relaxer products had declined, while demand for Sundial products had risen dramatically. By the mid-2000s, the natural hair movement, marked by its embrace of textured hair and traditional styles, had started to take shape both on the ground and in popular culture. Even without mass distribution, Sundial's revenues had reached $60 million. With mass distribution, those sales quadrupled over the next decade. Consumer preferences helped matters along. Despite making up only 14% of the U.S. population, Black consumers accounted for 19% of America's $3 billion personal soap and bath market last year. Given those figures, it makes sense that Unilever pursued Sundial so hard and was willing to give Dennis the freedom he demanded. Like ice cream maker Ben & Jerry's, Sundial is a standalone business within Unilever, with its founder still running the company. As part of the deal, Dennis is free to stay as long as he pleases, avoiding the unusual multi-year lockup period that an acquiring company puts on an incoming CEO. The courtship began in May 2017 over dinner at Casa Lever, an upscale Milanese restaurant on the first floor of a landmark Park Avenue skyscraper. Richelieu Dennis, the 49-year-old co-founder of Sundial Brands, had spent 20 years avoiding meals like this with the U.S. president of Unilever. The $54 billion 2017 sales Anglo-Dutch consumer goods conglomerate. But he finally caved after Unilever executives began imploring Dennis's friends to talk him into the meeting. Unilever badly wanted to buy New York City-based Sundial, a $240 million in revenue at the time maker of shampoos, conditioners, and lotions under brands like Shea Moisture and Nubian Heritage, targeted at Black and Latino customers. But Dennis had a list of terms he wanted, and he figured Unilever would never agree to all of it. Primarily, he wanted to keep control of his company with no strings attached. To his surprise, Unilever said yes to everything. Then, the Unilever execs laid out their supply chain in Africa to demonstrate its sustainability. And amid a white-hot M&A market for beauty companies, Unilever offered an estimated $1.6 billion for Sundial, a rich sum. Dennis and his mother, Mary, who had co-founded the company with him in 1991, owned 51% of the company. The two stood to walk away with an estimated $850 million fortune. Going forward, Dennis wants to expand Sundial products to Africa, Europe, and South America. To understand customers there, he has traveled to places like Ethiopia, Kenya, and Nigeria to research the distribution models there. In Ghana and Rwanda, the company is working on expanding the supply chain in a sustainable way to provide more raw materials. And for the first time, the company is expanding manufacturing outside the company's Long Island headquarters into areas closer to new markets, including Brazil, Nigeria, and South Africa. It plans to continue investing a portion of its sales into communities and efforts to improve the lives of those in its supply chain, including more than 20,000 Ghanaian women. What a moving tale of hard work, dedication, and success. But this kind of success does not come overnight. If I am calculating right, it took them over 2 decades to be able to get where they stand today. Like I have said before, starting a business is not the hardest part. Sustaining the business and growing is. Dennis was a young man with his whole life ahead of him, but the dedication his mother poured into the mix is a rare sight. People run after the so-called formula of success, the footprint of already successful businesses, but they often forget about one thing that matters the most. Consistency and hard work, even when you have made it big. First, you run the race of getting to the top, then it becomes a constant struggle of staying in the spot and paving the way for your next milestone. I hope this has been an interesting profile for all of you. We will be back soon with more moving stories, motivating takes of struggle, hard work, and dedication. Until then, make sure you subscribe to the channel, share our videos, and like as you go to the next one. Thanks for watching. I will be with you in the next one. And remember, you've got this.